Making your way through work Monday takes everything you got. Then Monday night rolls around and you realize there's a shot. You're only 10 points away. All those times when your team had no fight, they're just so gosh darn frail. Then your star quarterback let another deep ball sail, and your third round pick bet on his team. Then go check out our strength where everybody knows your pain, and they listen to complaints. You wanna be where you can see our bodies bring you no shame. You wanna go where everybody knows your pain.
Dad Bod Fantasy Squad. I am here with Brian and Cody. Brian, you got your girl dad shirt on. How was Father's Day?
Father's Day was a good time. We went down to Southern Ohio. We visited with the rest of the dads in the family. We barbecued out. We had some steak. It was a good time.
Your enthusiasm tells me what a great time it was.
Yeah.
It was a great time. I got 2 naps in.
Now, there you go.
By Southern Ohio, you mean 1 hour south of you, yeah? So not even central.
Yes, I mean Central Ohio.
Barely.
It's called Mid-Ohio. I mean, come on.
Cody, I don't know if I told you Happy Father's Day, dude. How was it? What did Asher do? Did he leave you a nice stinky one in your diaper for you?
Oh, yeah. You know, I don't even know if he did, but if he did, I'm pretty sure his mom would have taken him for Father's Day at least. So I'll take it as a win whether he did it or not. No, it was a good day, man. Ashley made me some sausage, gravy, and biscuits, and we went to my family, and it was a nice day. It was good. Your dog dad, how was your Father's Day, Mario?
Well, I was here alone, but I had one more thing to ask you. Yeah, I was here alone with the dog and the 2 cats. And it was a great weekend in the sense of they weren't all bugging. It was like they knew it was Father's Day for, pet dad. I should get a shirt that like Brian's girl dad shirt. It's a pet dad.
Pet dad. Yeah. I like it.
But they didn't bug. They were just chill.
Fur
they
babies.
Relaxed. So I had a good I'm a fur baby dad. I had a good weekend. Cody, you were chopping down some trees.
I tell you,
you said you wanted a new identity now. Lumberjack Cody, Lumberjack Paul. I don't know.
I feel like I've spent so many years, in the office world, and maybe it's just because I got a little taste of it, but I think I'm ready for an outside job. So we had really bad storms in our area, and there's been a lot of cleanup from it with trees down and things like that, and I'm fully enjoying.
Have you been just getting out there, shorts way above the knees? You got your button up on or your polo tucked in and just full on going at it, huh?
No. See, I'm laying it on thick, man. I've got like the kind of utility pants tucked in my boots. Like I'm ready to go.
Oh man, you're straight from a Lowe's commercial.
You can't get a tick bite.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That does bring us into our kind of opening intro here, our opening segment. And what it is Father Day, kind of Father Day special. We wanted to talk about lawn care hacks. And now we'll get to football. I promise. We'll get to fantasy football. What is your best lawn care hack, Cody?
Oh, okay. Can I give you 2? Because I've got 2 I like a lot.
Sure.
Okay. So the first one is striping kits for your mower are highly underrated. So have you ever looked at a lawn and seen how one lane is a very green color and the other lane will be, sort of a different color, and it's very visible how the grass is kind of laying different directions, and it makes that stripe look a lot like a golf course will look like maybe. Those are just like a stripe kit, and it can be a roller or, a flap or something of that nature. And it has to do with how it lays the grass down after you mow it. And so it's a pretty, inexpensive way to have that $1 million lawn that, all those dad bods are looking for. Have you seen the You Bet You guy on Like this would definitely be down his alley in terms of
On
he would
Facebook
want a
ads.
striped lawn. Yep.
I don't know if I've ever seen it.
It's good stuff. It's like he does like the
think
like
he's a
such dad
Minnesota
things
guy.
or like Midwest things. Yep.
You had a second one.
Yeah, here's the second one. So I see everyone edge with a weed eater, and I'm not going to knock edging with a weed eater. It does the job just fine. But over time, I just see people build these like giant caverns along
Gaps,
the sidewalks and driveway,
break
and
your
it just
ankle.
gets massive. It's
You
like they
break
like
your
continually
ankle.
just eat away. And so if you get an actual edger, it does like 80% of your weed eating. Now you don't do it every week, but like when I go around with my edger, I don't. Really have to
That'll
weed eat
swallow a
anything.
bike tire for sure.
It will. And so, you get that the edger, you get that nice little gap. It does a lot of your weed eating for you on the weeks that you edge. It's a little more expensive than like the stripe kit, but to me, it's worth the investment. It looks nice, keeps it clean, takes away some of the work. I'm all about it. What about you? Any for you, Mario? What's your like go-to mowing move that you feel like makes a difference? And it can just be lawn care in general.
Yeah, because I had a different one here because it's one that I had to come to find out as the season progressed from last year. I built I told you guys this a couple
You're
weeks.
building things.
No.
Oh, okay.
I made my own. We made this
What's our
this
expectations?
whole flower bed in the back. We made it.
Oh.
Like it wasn't there, and we made it, but then it needed an enhancer this year, and I have the enhancer, and I'm gonna show you what I did
Okay.
and
All right.
why it's a key trick to what you're doing, especially if it's kind of in an area where there might be a lot of rainwater or something.
Oh yeah.
Look at.
Oh
Ooh.
yeah.
Now just
Go
go ahead, Cody.
Well, all I was going to say is we did. Now, I like what you did with the edge because I think the combination of stone and mulch actually looks better. We did ours in all stone, if you remember at our place, because I was like, man, I really don't want to do mulch every year. So we did all stone, but I like the look of an edge of stone with the nice, dark mulch. I like that
Cody,
look.
I was
even
actually
better.
just about to say how much I disliked stone replacing mulch. I think it just looks lazy. That's just my opinion. I've been to your house. Your house is lovely. As long as you upkeep it, a lot of times people just get lazy and they let the weeds just crawl right up through them, and it just drives me crazy because how hard is it to hit it with some weed be gone?
Yeah, that's for sure fair. I mean, you got to keep the weeds down, and it is pretty lazy. I'll give you that. I mean, I definitely did the stone because I never wanted to mulch, so that's a fair statement.
Well, my trick here is that this was all like, the moat setup, right? You do the divot and let the mulch kind of run there if it runs down.
Mm-hmm.
Either I overdid it or it just was it was in an area with a lot of rainwater, and a lot of this mulch washed away after a year. And yes, 100%, I didn't clean my gutters. So that was part of it where it was just dripping over. But the rocks, which are not like just white, they are colored, but it wasn't washed yet. They weren't washed yet. You could see on the edge where I didn't clean off those bricks either. The rocks will hold it. And that was really I love the look. I love them holding it like where the mulch won't come running down. And you won't have that problem, Cody, with yours.
Yeah.
Not with all the rocks.
Yeah. Right. I see you got a big landscape. Is that a big landscaping stone there in the bottom right? Like, do you have big stones in your landscape?
Yeah, you didn't catch it in the picture. I think there's 3 of them there. It looks like a big paw almost. Yeah.
I'm all about those too.
We added those. We added I think it's 3 kind of square ones for a hose to just kind of lay on or whatever. We have it tangled up or on a rack, but
man,
I just wanted to show that.
I think you need to do some it really does look fabulous. I love the look. I mean, I got to say your lawn could probably use a little overseeding, but I mean, that's up to you.
It's a shaded area. It's a shaded area, dude.
Yeah. There's called a summer shade mix. So,
Well, Brian, so you got to tell us yours. I mean, I know what you typically do, which is like you buy a new house, you buy the lawn. So you got to give us some hints maybe on how to do that.
You buy a new house and then you don't put it in a yard, and then you sell the house and then you buy a new house that already has a yard. So no,
Genius.
Actually, just while you guys were talking, I was thinking in my head, my 2 gears were turning. Actually, it's more like 1 gear. And actually I just bought an edger attachment for my Ego weed whacker. Except the funny thing is that, except for that, my weed whacker is too old and can't hook up to it. So I'm going to have to now buy like the power handle that I can just swap out the different parts on the end, which is going to be like another $150.
Just get a hand, get a hand edger, you know?
I actually have one, but it's like a super old Black & Decker one. Like we replaced the blades a couple times. It's on a cord. It's just a pain. And when I lived on a corner house, the cord, like 3 extension cords couldn't even wrap my entire house. It was a pain.
I meant to roll. No cord, Rolly. You ever use one of those?
Oh, you mean like the Widowmakers? Yeah, those are
the Widowmakers. I'm not sure I've heard that phrase.
Dude,
for
those kill me. Those kill my back. They're rough. So my lawn care hack. Oh, let me just crack my back real quick. So this might be a controversial take, but bagging your grass is for the birds. Geez, for the weeds.
Terrible.
It's for the birds.
Don't shake your head to that, Cody.
No, look, here's the solution.
Use
the solution. You mow your lawn. You get stripes. Like my lawnmower, it's old. It's like
you get grass stripes.
25 years old. Yeah, you get grass stripes, right? And then you come out right afterwards with your leaf blower and you just blow those piles around and you can't tell the stripes anymore. You don't have to bag your grass. It looks perfect.
So I got an even better solution. Even better solution, Mario.
Bag your grass.
Just mow your lawn more often so you're not a monster.
Well, see, the thing with that, Cody, is that so currently, as everyone knows, my mansion's being built, and the mansion with the profits from this show, and so my mom's front yard grows a lot slower than her backyard. Her backyard, and she doesn't care about her backyard, so I only mow whenever she tells me to. I'm not going to take the initiative. I'm not going out to do it on my own. So the backyard's like a foot tall, and the front yard hasn't grown at all. So the backyard's always the one I got to go, and I got to leaf blow it afterwards.
Yeah. Mario, do you bag then?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on.
What?
All right, so let me ask you guys.
That's work. I kudos.
My first year in my house, on the corner lot with the huge yard, I bagged the grass like twice. Keeping that grass in your garage for like 4 days or however long until trash comes to pick up.
Put your trash on the side.
Where am I going to keep it? Just throw it in the backyard? And then it gets rained on and then the bag rips apart?
You keep your trash cans outside. I don't understand. Why don't you keep your trash cans outside?
You're going to put your lawn clippings in the trash can?
I do every time, yeah.
Dude, your trash has to smell so bad.
No.
No. He's only mowing the roses. He doesn't mow the grass. He mows roses.
Now, Brian,
although I have smelled some stinky, moldy grass before.
Yeah,
it smells so
Brian,
bad, dude. I can't handle the smell.
Since we're non-baggers, are you mulch or side discharge?
It comes out the back on the mulch.
Okay.
It is not side.
Okay, so it does discharge though. It doesn't just mulch it, because a mulch, it's totally enclosed. Like you would close the flap and then it recuts it, kind of, if that makes sense. But it can still clump up. That doesn't really fix that.
So basically, what's just happened is that my mower's gotten so the little flap on the back where the grass is supposed to come out of, it's like completely closed now to where it all builds up, and then once it gets heavy enough, it just drops a huge pile of grass. And so that's what I pretty much come out and just splash those around with the oil.
Okay. I need to get on your level, Mario. I'll be honest. I try to pride myself on my lawn.
You don't.
And I feel like less of a man that I don't bag now.
Yeah, maybe by the end of the episode. Yeah, right. Maybe by the end of the episode, I'll show you another bed that we just put in. We put in some hostas in there. I'll see if I can get it up quick enough. We'll see.
Okay.
But we have spent plenty of time on our lawn care. Now we're going to go on to our manscaping care. No, I'm just kidding. Let's go to some news, which I don't have what Brian wants on here. So he'll have to just kind of go at the very end. I'll have you hit it. Sky Moore hamstring issue, which I think we've known this. We've known this for a little bit. I think he was drafted with something with his hamstring. Still getting up to speed, took reps with first and second team. Mean anything? Kind of non-news. If it's non-news, let's move on.
I'm not worried yet. I mean, he's more concerning than some of them you've listed just because it's been an ongoing problem. So it starts to get a little more concerning. Like the first time a guy misses a non-mandatory camp. Like that doesn't worry me. But this has been a thing for a little bit, and so I guess it's starting to worry me a little bit. But I'm not in panic mode in June. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're going to be cautious in these early months too.
Mario, I'm going to need you real quick to bring in our most recent comment here. I think it's pretty vital.
Oh, I didn't even see the comments.
It's extremely important to the show.
Thank
you.
I didn't even read it until it came out.
Oh, that's great. That is great.
Wait till you see my lawn care householder.
Mario just started growing facial hair this year.
Full beard. Anyways, Tanya not cleared for practice at June minicamp. I put this on here to specifically warn all you ACL guys who think that somebody could tear their ACL in December and be ready to go by week 1. That was the reason I put this in here. Am I surprised a little bit about this? Maybe, because his was more like middle of the year. So even more, he's still not ready for June. Brian, do you have any concerns with this or what it means for anybody with a torn ACL?
I mean, I know we talk about Michael Gallup a lot and how he's not, maybe, who knows when he's coming back, between September and November, sometime in there. No, I'm not really concerned about this until the year gets closer, but I mean, that's how I'm going to be with most of the news, to be honest.
Just not a news guy in June, huh?
No. Unless it's something big, like a big injury, you know?
Well, you have one that you're going to talk about that you're making it sound big. CeeDee Lamb was held out of June minicamp with hamstring issue. I didn't realize this. So if this is new news, I'm not sure. Isn't worried about his training camp availability. Cody, any concerns here?
No, I wouldn't say concern, but it makes me sad because I mean I'm really all in on CD this year. So I just any hiccup is, I don't want to say concerning, but maybe disappointing is the better word. Scary, yeah.
CD ham.
So not concerned, but I just sorry, yeah. Sorry, but I just want him to. I'm just all in on him, so I just hope it clears up. But I'm not panicking.
And Brian, you had one more piece of news that you wanted to talk about.
The only reason that this was even a piece of news is because of the show that we're doing today, which is about rookies and kind of their outlook. And one guy on Reddit and the internet who's been getting a lot of hype lately is Dameon Pierce. And I thought it was kind of ironic because I pushed Mario to include Dameon Pierce in today's episode. And then it came out that the Texans are looking to lean on Marlon Mack to start the year, which I thought was just kind of ironic. Does it really mean anything? I mean, if you're a Dameon Pierce believer, probably not, because you probably thought that he would slowly build up his role like rookies do sometimes, but just thought it was kind of funny.
I don't know how I feel about Dameon Pierce, but it will definitely come up here shortly. So, with that being said, let's kick off to the impactful rookies. You know, we wanted to kind of go over the rookies that have the biggest impact from start of the season. If not start of the season, tell us when. But like the biggest impact making for fantasy rookies. And we're going to kick off with Brian, your first one, which is Breece Hall.
Yes. And Breece Hall was pretty much the consensus number 1 pick in all dynasty drafts this year. Pretty much everybody saw it as a very large gap between him and the next running back, which was Kenneth Walker. Nobody was really, I didn't see many mock drafts that had anybody else going first. I mean, occasionally you'd have like the Drake Londons, the Treylon Burks, Breece Hall, even though that's who I'm talking about. So a couple stats just to throw at you guys just to start this off. The Jets last year were 13th in offensive line ranking. We saw Michael Carter put together a couple good games when he saw over 50% of the snaps in 8 games that he played. He finished as RB29 on the entire season, just from basically those 8 games where he saw over 50% of the snaps. So what you're expecting with Breece Hall is you're expecting him to come in, take that workhorse role. Michael Carter's going to be like the change it down back is what people are expecting. You know, it could work out to be more of a 50-50 split. You never really know with rookies until the season starts. You got a solid receiving group now in New York or New Jersey, however you want to say it. Zach Wilson takes another year forward, decent offensive line. How are you guys feeling about Breece?
It's hard for me because, I mean, there's a great opportunity there. And, even when you talk about the change pace stuff, I see the 36 receptions in 2021, and I think, man, there's some receiving work here, even if Michael Carter is going to take some of that third down. I don't think Breece is a guy you have to take off the field per se, where some guys are. So I think there's a chance for him to be on the field a lot. I know that the Jets had a draft everyone loved. I just have a hard time thinking that offense is ready to turn a corner for me. And so that generally hurts me in terms of running backs. But he should be a highly drafted rookie running back. So I'm not taking away from where his ADP is or anything like that. I'm just still struggling to get excited about it.
So he's going like early.
He's going
fifth?
ADP. Mid, closer to mid, I think. Fifth.
Yeah, 7th in the
5.05.
fifth round.
5. I think 5, right? Yeah.
As an RB3, it's fine. I mean, if somebody wants
you're
to
right.
chase him as an RB2, I'm not loving it. But as an RB3, it's fine.
I mean, we saw how Michael Carter did in this terrible offense, and he had moments where Breece Hall is going to have a lot more volume. We're expecting this offense to be a little bit better. I'm probably drafting above that ADP, but I can be honest with you. I don't think I've loaded up on him in best ball.
Mm-hmm.
In the 5th round, I could if I have one running back, I feel like I could definitely trust him as an RB2. Like, I think he'll get you like 10 points a game. I'm not going to say anything crazy because I don't know, much about, I don't watch much rookie ball or college ball. But yeah, like I said, in basically 8 games of Michael Carter, he was RB29 for the year. That's almost RB2.
Brian, do you go David Montgomery or Breece Hall there? Because that's where he's going.
David Montgomery. He's just more established.
That's right around where he's going. I think Zeke will usually fall around there too. Zeke or Breece Hall.
I'll tell you, I mean, like I said, I don't hate the player, and I think the offense could be a little better. And you're right. I just like him better as an RB3, I think. It worries me a little.
I think you guys are fading a little bit too much, but Brian sounds like he's optimistic, but he is also like not taking him at that ADP.
Well, because if Zeke is there, I'm taking Zeke. I think a lot of people are overestimating Zeke's fall off.
Demont is right around there.
I'd take Demont before him. I mean, I'm thinking Mario right after that, though, I might take somebody else.
Mario, do you think Michael Carter goes away? Pretty much. I mean,
kind of.
Okay.
I don't think he does go.
They spent huge capital on Breece Hall, and then Michael Carter was a 4th, 5th round. I think it was
not even
4th.
sure.
I thought he was a 3rd or 4th, and Breece was only a 2nd round. I mean,
that's huge capital now. He was the first RB off the board. That's big.
I think after last year, seeing what Michael Carter could do, Michael Carter looked really good last year in those few games.
He's not going to be that relevant. They wouldn't have went and spent a 2nd rounder on Breece if he was going to remain relevant.
Well, I agree. I think he's going to be like the workhorse, but I don't think Michael Carter is going to go away.
I don't either, to the extent of like, I guess I misunderstood Cody's question. For fantasy purposes, he's gone, and I don't think Cody was implying that. Do I think he's going to take any carries? No, I think maybe he goes into more of a pass catching back role. He seemed to flourish with like that last year.
I think that's going to matter a lot because, when you're talking about a bottom 10 offense at least, then, you're really only saving grace in terms of running back is getting all the work.
It should be noted
Breece
also
is going to have a ton of work though.
Well, that's what it hinges on. That's all I'm saying is that's what it hinges on to me is how much Michael Carter goes away. It won't be a case of how good is Breece, probably. It'll probably be a case of, is he the bell cow on a bad team? Because when you're on a bad team, you got to be the bell cow to be fantasy good to me.
It's hard to say it's a bad team.
It should be noted also that Michael Carter basically had all his points in that stretch where Zach Wilson was hurt and Joe Flacco started.
So crazy.
Same with Elijah Moore as well. Yeah, their offense just did a lot better with Joe Flacco.
I want to kick it over to my impactful rookie. And this picture, Brian, gets me every time because that is Drake. Treylon Burks. No, there's a lot of hate on him right now about his asthma concerns or he's out of shape. Treylon, in his last season for Arkansas, went 66 for 1104 and 11 TDs. They drafted this dude to replace A.J. Brown.
They traded A.J. Brown.
Yeah. And then they drafted this dude to replace him. They traded.
I'm not
for
saying
this
like
pick.
to replace him. I'm saying they like looked at him and they were like, we don't need A.J. Brown. We got Treylon Burks. And then they shipped A.J. Brown off like he was garbage.
Well, they didn't have Treylon at the time.
But
they
you guys are basically saying the same thing, just in a different.
I know
sequence.
he's just saying it weird.
I'm just trying to make it more like
emphatic,
egregious by the Titans.
Yeah, they said screw you, AJ Brown. We got Treylon. Yeah,
that is what they said. They said we don't want to pay you in 2 years.
We'll take this rookie.
Yeah,
who actually has a similar style. So 66 for 1104 is very similar to what AJ Brown did last year in the NFL. I get it. This is college stats. But he can make the defense pay on this low volume, which is the way that AJ Brown did. He was a big catch receiver. He didn't load up his receptions to 100. He was typically like a 60 to 70 reception guy, even less than I think last year. I'm not buying the asthma concerns or the out of shape concerns. Cody asked me before this episode, Robert Woods is 30, coming off an ACL injury. How good can he be? I get it. He'll get targets. Like, I'm not saying he did it. So did Corey Davis in this offense a couple years ago. I'm not worried about him taking away the volume from AJ or Treylon Burks.
So Cody,
you know what I love looking at those
Treylon
stats?
Burks.
Yeah.
Is Treylon Burks going to be what people thought AJ Brown was?
You know what? I think there's a chance. I do think because of the spot he's falling in, because I think Mario's right. That's a really great opportunity. So I think the floor is pretty high. Like, they're going to give him 3 years at a minimum, 4 years at a minimum. And so with him being a pretty much clear-cut number one, I mean, the floor is pretty high in terms of, I think AJ Brown is very possible. Now, you and I have talked in the past, Brian, that we don't think AJ Brown has been the player that everyone perceives him to be. But I think Treylon does have the ability to be more than that. But I think his floor could be, AJ Brown. I really do. The opportunity is so good.
He's just got to stay on the field.
Yeah. And you know what I love in those stats, and this is what you got to love when you look at, being an AJ Brown replacement. All 3 years, he averaged over 16 yards of reception. Incredibly consistent in that area. He's clearly, a big play stud.
I think with the ADP at wide receiver 41, this is a guy that unfortunately I haven't been getting too many best balls, but like every time I try to get him, every single draft, I try to snag a share. I think there's
his
some
ADP rise as as drafts
I do
come
too.
closer.
I actually, Brian, it's funny you say that because I think a lot of these rookies will have that because they're all.
I don't know. Breece Hall, I
low.
feel like is pretty good where he's at.
We have had rookies go within like the first 3 rounds every year, and I didn't see one going in redraft right now, unless I'm missing something or someone.
I think we do have a weird year, not a weird year per se, but we do have our top running backs, which would generally be the higher drafted rookies to some degree. We have them landing in not ideal places, and I think that's part of it. It's going to rise some, but I don't know that we see a second round rookie for sure. Maybe a third, I guess. But I doubt
we see Breece get closer to third.
Oh, I'm not buying.
I think we do. If Michael Carter gets hurt, I mean, you're probably all in.
I don't think anybody's taking him over David Montgomery.
That offense. You guys are talking so bad about the Jets offense, but like, what's there exciting about?
Because David Montgomery has done it on the Bears.
Especially because Jay Fields is going to be taking work from him. Anyways, we'll keep it trucking. Cody.
Yes, sir.
You had this one's so basic, bro.
Just like yours, you mean?
Nah, yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's incredibly similar, I think.
I do too. There's a lot of hype around both of them.
And look, wide receiver 41 and wide receiver 42.
Drake London is Cody's pick. His first pick here.
You know, Treylon Burks is probably my favorite wide receiver, but Mario had him claimed. And I feel good about Drake London. You know, quarterback plays a question with Mariota and someone
It's
that Mario
Mariota.
might talk about a little later. Thank you. But, you know, here's what you got to like is he walks into the number one wide receiver role, no questions asked. I mean, the guys on his team you've borderline not heard of. Russell Gage is gone. I mean, it is just – oh, you don't think he's the number one, huh?
No, I just didn't want to hear the Auden Tate slander.
When I say the people you probably
or Brian Edwards.
There's still the Zacharias. I can't ever get his name.
Olamitis.
Yeah, yep. But, you know, he slides right into the wide receiver one role in that team. 6'4", 220. When I looked up his draft profile, taking a look at him, watching a little bit on him, the jump timing and catch radius is great. You know, he's a go up and get it kind of guy. Doesn't seem that quick or anything.
Yeah, what's his 40?
I'm going to butcher this, but I'm thinking it was 4.53 or 4.56.
Wait, did they actually have it? Because he didn't run it at the combine.
I had a 40 for him because I looked at it, but he ran it at some point. I'm pretty sure it was him. I could be mixing with somebody else. I'll look it up here.
He definitely didn't write it at the he didn't write it. Oh my God, I can't even speak.
I could be mixing him up with. 4.53. Where was this at? Looks like you might have been training in London.
It was in Cody's backyard.
Training in London.
Downhill.
That's what it says. See, Mario tried to get me there. Mario tried to get me there, and I had it in the bag.
No, he didn't run it though.
Really, I got a 4.53 that says he does.
He ran it downhill. There was like a 50-mile-an-hour wind gust.
Wind assisted. Yeah.
He was running behind a biker.
He didn't run it on U.S. soil. He ran it in London. We can't trust their clocks.
It probably wasn't even 40 yarder then. It's probably 40 meters, which that helps a ton.
Yeah.
No, you know, not blazing fast, not that quick when you watch him, but he does go up and get the ball, and he's a number one wide receiver on his team. So you got to take a look at him, I think.
Opportunity.
Yep.
He isn't going to have any opportunity if Mariota starts the whole year.
That's true. I would like if it's between Treylon Burks and Drake London, I'm taking Treylon just because he's got a better quarterback.
Yep, I agree.
That comes down to my only thing the reason that I'm afraid of Drake London at all is because I do expect Desmond Ridder to start, and we'll talk about it a little bit. But man, I do not like. There's some Mariota truthers out there. I think Alex is kind of one of them. He talks just highly of him. Can't do it, dude.
I don't think it's true. I've tried to trade him Mariota a few times and it hasn't happened.
Yeah, well, we found out today with
Alex Devontae Parker.
Yeah, well, he's all talk. He doesn't back it in his rankings. He talked about how Amon-Ra St. Brown was so good and he ceilinged him at 15. Never heard that in my life, but how good he was. And then ceilinged at 15.
You know he's typing a message to us right now, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
He does.
He is good, dude. Uh-oh, Robbie's getting upset about this too.
Let's move on.
Yeah, Brian, can you tell us your next one?
All right, my next one, who was a pretty consensus, in Dynasty, there's like a top 8 tier, pretty much 2 running backs and like 6 receivers. This guy definitely went in there. A lot of times he was going number 2, and that's Kenneth Walker, the third, who went to the Seahawks.
Ken.
Oh, sorry.
It's Ken
Walker, the third. And this guy is shooting up draft boards as well because Rashad Penny just had a hamstring injury. So he's probably going to have the opportunity. Chris Carson, it doesn't look like he's going to play any more football. So there's really nobody to compete with in Seattle. He is, again, probably going to be on a pretty bad team with either Geno or Drew Lock. So a couple stats I pulled for Kenneth Walker, pretty much the opposite of Breece Hall. So Breece has a good offensive line. Kenneth Walker probably going to have the worst offensive line in football. What does that mean? Why could he have points? Well, you're hoping for dump-offs. You're hoping in PPR that Kenneth Walker turns into a stud, kind of like Najee Harris last year, who caught some ridiculous number of balls, probably like 69 or something. They're not going to have any time to throw. DK Metcalf's not going to be able to get open down the field. Lockett's not that good, Rob. So Kenneth Walker is looking, again, just if you're looking for opportunity, he's a guy who landed in a pretty decent spot.
I can't tell if this was a Ken Walker roast or not.
Worst O-line, I like him.
Worst O-line,
I like it.
This team is going to suck. The quarterback sucks. DK sucks. But Ken Walker,
It's all about opportunity, baby. That's all that matters.
They're not getting down the field. No, I really.
See, I differ on that theory just a little bit. I'm 100% with you on opportunity is all that matters for a receiver. For a running back, I don't always quite get there. But I mean,
so look, this is probably a guy.
Good. Yeah.
So he's ranked as RB35. So he's an RB3 essentially. If you go 0 running back strategy, this is probably somebody you're looking at.
Yes.
The price is good. I agree with that.
Yeah, the price is fine. And if you go zero RB early, this might be a guy that can help you to win your league if you drafted 2 top receivers and a tight end or quarterback.
That's like 8th round. I mean, the price is pretty good.
It is nice. So I do this a lot in best ball as well. So I'm familiar with who goes around this time. Did Cody drop some?
Did you hear that?
Pop. Yeah, I don't know what you dropped.
So I sit here and play with my wedding ring, and it escaped me and rolled about half
rolled
a mile
away. I heard it kind of just going. I was like, oh, he dropped his can.
Did you see my panic?
Yeah. Brian, Tony Pollard or Ken Walker III?
Oh, that's tough. That's real tough.
That's ADP question right there.
I don't know if you're going for if you're going for the home run, I think you go with Walker.
You could say best ball versus redraft too, if that helps. Best ball is like the volatility.
Yeah, I'd go with Walker if I'm swinging for the fences.
Tony Pollard for the safer floor for you.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I go Tony Pollard on both, but I do like Ken Walker, and I like targeting him exactly where you said. I think he's a great target there, especially if you whiff on all your other RBs and you're stuck with David Montgomery.
That's not stuck with. That's a solid RB1.
Isn't Mario a former Demont lover, or am I crazy?
I tried.
He's a Justin
This
Fields
is why
lover.
I hate him. This is why David Montgomery burned me. I drafted him 3rd round, his rookie season, and it was just kind of like not worth the 3rd.
He didn't have a great rookie season. His 2nd year was good though.
But I did hype. I hyped Demont up a lot last year when I said Nagy is costing Demont completely, and I said that about midway through the season. I was like, it's crazy to see this. And then I think Nagy was out for some weird reason, and Demont
he gave up play calling duties for the second half of the season or something.
The NFL gave up on Nagy too, so it's good now. Yeah. I'm gonna go to my next one. Not many people gonna like this one.
Hold up. He looks 47 years old.
I don't think
is that Brandon Whedon?
You don't think that's a great picture? That's an atrocious picture, Mario. This isn't not that great picture.
Well, all right. Well,
dang, he's going QB 39. That's not even like
he's not drafted. But I figured I'd write it up there anyways. He's undrafted. I have a lot of Desmond Ridder love. I think he's the quarterback to own out of this draft. I know Kenny Pickett went 1st round. Malik Willis has wheels. I am all about Desmond Ridder, and it's gross because I don't know if there's been a quarterback that came out of the American Conference in the NFL has done anything in the NFL in so long. I mean, Case Keenum, I guess.
They're leaving the American Conference, though, right? So that helps.
Yeah, well, it doesn't help that he played in it.
Where are they?
They
going?
are.
Mario, I'll give you this. I think
Desmond
Ridder is the QB to own for the Falcons.
I do have, as far as immediate impact, this is more like week 8. That's my guess. I'm gonna target week 8. Although I don't think I go later than week 8 at all, but I do see it happening maybe sooner. So this isn't necessarily an immediate impact, but I think more in dynasty, but like maybe scoop him if you have a spot on your bench and redraft, and you're like, I don't need this. He might be a decent hold.
Look, he's definitely going to play at some point this year because the Falcons are going to want to see if they need to pick a quarterback early next year. And that's the only reason he's going to play. So either he's going to steal the job and they're going to win some games, or or he's going to be terrible like I expect and then never see the light of the field again.
It's like you read my notes and then just took my talking points. It's fine. It's fine. It's right. Mariota is not the answer. They spent the capital on Desmond. They are going to want to know what he's working with before next year's draft. He starts at least week 8. The dude has wheels not as good as Malik Willis. 501 for 2180 and 28 TDs in his 4 years in college. He took Cincy to the best season since 2009. It was still a better season this year than 2009, but they had a pretty good season then. He's a stud.
Stop saying he's a stud.
I'm curious on one thing, because I don't know where this line is, but I think there's a line there somewhere, and it's different for every team. So I don't know if I completely, but here's the only thing, because I don't dislike Ritter at all. Here's the only thing I don't know. You say like they're going to give him this opportunity to see if he's the guy. Do third rounders always fall into that? Because like, I don't know if that's 100% true. Like you may just see him practice. He's not the guy.
Second QB off the board.
Second QB off the board doesn't mean anything with this QB class to me. He's still a third round quarterback, which is not a highly drafted quarterback.
Cody, if you're okay, so I think this is a question that you're asking when it's very situational. Like, yes, if Tom Brady was the quarterback there, do I think they would have to give Desmond Ritter the try? Not at all. He would not have to have the keys for anything. But it's Mariota. You don't think they're going to give this dude a chance?
They very well may. I'm not totally opposed to it. They probably will. I actually think I agree with you. I just was kind of posing the question of, I mean, is this guy a highly touted enough prospect that he's even going to for sure get a look?
When
I don't know that that's certain.
Of
third round
Mariota stature, he's getting a look. He's got to.
I feel like there's a lot of third, and I could be wrong.
Might be a shorter leash.
There's a lot of third round quarterbacks that never get a real opportunity.
Again, though, that's like, who are they behind?
Yes, no, that's fair. That's fair.
He probably does have a shorter leash, though. So say they do give him the reins in week 6 or something, and he comes out there just terrible.
Throws
nothing better than Mariota. He loses it probably just as quick.
I feel like he's going to come out and be one of those guys that's fun for like 3 weeks and then just completely implodes.
No, stop it. Cut it out.
Do you have like a player like that? I'm curious, Brian, like who, like, and I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but like
a Gardner Minshew or
don't do that.
Or
hey, if he's like Gardner Minshew,
whenever Ryan Fitzpatrick starts a year. That's it.
You guys talked over each other, so I didn't catch anything you guys were saying.
Minshew's the truth. That's what we're saying.
I agree.
Or like a Jeremy Lin, but that's an NBA reference, but kind of like that.
Okay, Jeremy Lin's that's a good example. Jockstrap Jesus, just leave him out of it.
Ryan Fitzpatrick at the start of every year.
There's no Ryan Fitzpatrick slander on this show after he retired, but you can give us your next player.
So I did this one more for Brian because he's like, hey, I've seen some love for him on Reddit, and we mentioned him earlier.
Love him.
And I was like, okay, why don't we just take a look at him? Because it's not somebody that I've spent any time on, and it's Dameon Pierce. It's kind of the same story as Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall. He's falling in a spot where he could definitely be the lead guy. And I know Brian talked about the Marlon Mack hype. I'm not a Marlon Mack guy.
Stop it. It was not hype. It was like
It was coach speak.
It was hype. It was
like coach speak. I know he's 2 years removed, but he's still an Achilles tear guy, and I don't think the track record for Achilles tear guys has been strong whatsoever. And it just never worked out in Indy. They drafted a running back. I think there's a reason for all these things, and I just think Marlon Mack isn't as great as we all hoped he was, unfortunately. And so Marlon Mack being the guy ahead of him on the depth chart is about as least scary as any starting running back being ahead of someone in the NFL to me.
Fair.
I don't like the offense. I just got done saying I don't really like running backs in bad offenses. But, he's still a guy that probably has a 30, 40, 50% chance at being a starting running back at some point this year, which when you're talking 140 overall in drafts, it's probably worth a flyer. So I think he's a guy
real estate.
Yeah. Yep. So when I looked he's an interesting guy. He's a little bit like Josh Jacobs was a couple years ago. Really limited college work. But productive around the goal line. So like last year, he had a TD on every 7 carries, which you could look good or bad. It could be, hey, that's unrepeatable, but it's also a pretty insane. Yeah. He's only got 9 career games with 10 or more carries. So he is definitely a low work guy. You can see the stats there. He's barely topping 100 rushing attempts. Not a ton of receiving work. I mean, he has been a low usage guy, and basically we don't have a lot to look at. He seems to be one of the, kind of quick and springy guys, definitely not the top end speed type.
He's the lottery ticket.
Yeah, he is, because there's just not a lot on him. He didn't have a lot of carries, but he's fallen in a good spot, and he's worth a flyer where he's being drafted to me.
And also, I'd like to just go back a little bit and let you know that there's no Marlon Mack slander on this stream either, because Marlon Mack was great, and then he tore his Achilles. And I sadly don't think, I do think Achilles is pretty much an ender. So, yeah, you're right that he's really got nothing to beat out.
It's definitely tough to come back from the Achilles tear. And
yeah,
I guess Cody brought up something that I probably would have never really noticed, which was the Josh Jacobs limited amount of work in college. That is insane. I didn't realize that till now. He went at the end of the first, right?
Yeah, everybody loved the tape, loved the measurables, but he never got the run in college.
That was my biggest slant against this whole thing. Like, this dude had 100 tops rushing attempts in college per season,
and no receiving work almost. Yep,
pretty much none. So I know he is kind of going to a place where the opportunities should be wild. Rob apparently loves him. He talks about his tape all the time. I haven't been buying him at all. He goes late. He's another one that, like, if you're kind of doing the 0 RB approach, you can kind of throw your dart throw there.
16 touchdowns last year. 16 touchdowns last year on that amount of carries and receptions. I was like, whoa, that's wild.
I mean, that's not to say there's not going to be a role for him in the NFL. I mean, if you think of this is a long time ago when the NFL was different.
LeGarrette Blount.
Jerome Bettis or LeGarrette Blount, or there's a number of guys. James Conner. Your vultures, if you will.
Yep.
I'd hate for that to only be the reason we talk about a guy, but could be. I mean, if that's a floor, that's a nice floor.
Brian, why don't you talk about the guy that you're super high on that you got in Dynasty this year?
Man,
which is obviously
let me
the clear
tell
reason
you.
why he's here, Cody, right?
Yep.
I was pumped.
A love affair, no doubt.
Olave
affair, you might even
say.
Ooh,
I missed it. That was golden. I missed it.
Wow, you really missed that? I thought you were setting me up for that. Yeah, so great thing happened. I was picking, I traded my second round pick, got Brandon Cooks, and moved back to the 8th spot. And then the 7th guy in front of me auto drafted Kenny Pickett. What an idiot. And so I got my baby, Chris Olave.
You don't even like Ohio State. Don't call him your baby.
Wait, I don't really like Ohio State. I just don't like college football though. But Chris Olave is a guy that I have watched quite a bit of over the years because I do watch Ohio State every once in a while. And he's coming into the NFL. He's pretty much the most like NFL ready receiver, I would say, out of this group. He has good route running, good hands. He's going to have a defined role right from the start. He goes to a team that's run well. He's not going to one of these dumpster fires, which is actually probably not great for him. Jameis throws the ball. Kenny Pickett slander is well-deserved. Jameis throws the ball. He airs it out. He's going to toss it around. We don't really know what we're getting with the offense, however. Like, is Michael Thomas coming back? There's a new head coach. What are they going to really, what kind of offense are they going to run? You assume if Jameis is at the helm, though, they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. And, do you think it helps or hurts if Michael Thomas is back?
Hurts for me.
Hurts for me.
Interesting.
As well.
I think it helps.
So I think the Michael Thomas news lately is great for Olave. It would have him.
I agree. I'm sick of the Olave will be able to work against the 3rd cornerback. It's volume. Stop talking about that.
Give me the wide receiver 1 every time. I don't care.
Every time. I don't care. But you might be right.
So look, you don't think Michael Thomas is going to be like a shell of his former self, though?
Sure, which is another reason that there's probably not going to be that much attention on him. It so doesn't
I guess
matter.
whether he's nothing or whether he's not there is kind of the same to me.
Except I think
I
he's still
couldn't
going to
agree
get
with
all
you
that
more.
attention.
Oh,
Or he comes back
God.
and he's a stud and they just turn into one of the best offenses in the league. Just kidding. I don't think that's happening. But I do love Chris Olave. He was my favorite receiver in this draft. Not a lot of people.
Onomatopoeia.
Not a lot of people really pegged him as one of the top guys. You know, as Treylon Burks, Drake London, and those guys definitely have the opportunity.
Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, a lot of people like Garrett Wilson as well. I don't like Zach Wilson though. I'd rather go with Jameis throwing the ball than Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about what you said is I think he does run some very clean routes. Garrett Wilson's just as NFL ready. I know we're not debating which Ohio State receiver. I think they're both pretty solid. But if I was to choose one though, I think Garrett Wilson looks a little bit more ready. But either way, Olave could be really good. He's the only concern that I have with him is, and we didn't see it too much in college. He's got a small frame, man. He's small. He's a little brittle. A little
Brittle,
guy.
he is little, but brittle.
He missed some time his junior year, but other than that, he holds up pretty strong. I am excited to see him on this offense. I think this is one of the better spots. Like Cody and I both agreed on, we pretty much view MT as a non-threat at this point. The dude is 29. He's
29's your prime though.
Yeah, well, he was just posted a video, and Dr. Jess Morris posts this. It's my favorite guy to follow for injuries. And he was talking about how it's a video of him jumping on a box with his one ankle. And he's like, whether this is him jumping on a box, and that is the max that he's doing, we are definitely in terrible shape. But if this is not the max, and he's still posting this, we are not in good shape. And I'm like, You're right. Like, he is showing us visibly nothing with this. What is he trying to prove?
For
here?
sure.
That I can jump on a box. I'm not out at minicamp. Like, I don't know, man.
Honestly, Michael Thomas is kind of going the Antonio Brown route, of just like.
Well, is it injury though? I think
it's
just a bad injury.
Yeah,
right?
but no, it wasn't just a bad injury. It was like he delayed surgery and then he lied to the team about getting.
Like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was a whole drama between him and the Saints. It was stupid.
Yeah.
And it might cost him like the rest of his career. Like he could have really been one of the best guys, and now he's got this stupid injury that he milked. And I don't want to say milked like these guys aren't in pain, because I'm sure they are, but he made the decision to delay surgery for so many months, which is just going to hurt him.
I'll tell you, I'm changing pace a little bit here, and I'm sure it's going to move up, but I can't believe how cheap these rookie receivers are. For as great a draft class as this is, said to be, the prices are right on these guys, man.
For wide receivers.
Yeah, for wide receivers. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like
Bob
everywhere
Barker
else they're like,
because I think
it's shitty.
Well, that's the funny
outside
part. It's such a great receiver class, and then the top receiver is like 90th overall. Where we want Breece Hall on the Jets at 35.
Yeah. I was going to say, outside of Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker, there's probably not any running backs getting drafted, and I don't think any quarterbacks are getting drafted.
Probably right.
There's a running back. Dameon Pierce is getting drafted in redraft. A lot of the running backs are.
He was like 140th, I think.
He's getting drafted.
Which is like 14th round. I mean, barely.
Tyler, I can never say his last name. Tyler Algier.
The Falcons guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's getting drafted. There's a couple. There's a lot of people are drafting for the high upside. And the next one, which you're leading me into a great.
Oh, let me pause you real quick and just say that.
Are you going to interrupt the transition?
At the end of the drafts, when you have a dart throw, don't spend it on Mohamed Sanu. Get a rookie instead.
No Sanu Canoe?
No Sanu Canoe.
Thank you for
some
ruining
sound advice.
Yeah, sure. Until he ruins a transition for it.
Well, he should ruin it because this is a garbage take. It's Lenny all day, baby.
Rashad White is one of my other impacting rookies. And it's not to say that Lenny isn't going to be good, because that's not how I'm going about this. But I don't foresee Lenny getting 250 touches again this year. Do you, Cody? He had 249 last year.
Ooh, sure do. And 70 of them will be receptions, and I'm going to love every second of it.
Yep.
Do you think his body holds up to all that?
You think Tom Brady is going to trust a rookie to handle his balls?
It was under 200 carries, right, Mario? I mean, or was it right at 200? I mean, it wasn't a big number.
He had 249 last year touches.
Carries or touches?
Touches.
Yeah, so I think he was under 200 carries. Yeah, the carries are what scare me. That's a low number. I when you tell me a guy gets 180 to 200 carries, that doesn't scare me durability-wise.
I have to think that they're going to use the rookie running back that they drafted 3rd round again, which is pretty freaking high as what we saw from this draft. 3rd round is kind of a spend.
But you're looking at that wrong.
If you look at it like he's just replacing Rojo, I mean, what did Rojo do last year?
I'm not necessarily saying that either. I think he carves out a role, and I don't necessarily trust Lenny's health.
What about Keyshawn Vaughn?
Give me real quick. I don't like the argument. Like when I say I don't really understand the argument of like, well, he's like the 4th running back off the board. Yeah, but it doesn't really matter. Like 3rd round, I don't think is that big of an investment to say like, hey, we're going to take away this guy who was the RB4 in points per game last year. Like we're talking about an absolute stud in fantasy. Now for fantasy, and I think he was great for the team.
I don't think he's replacing Lenny. That's not what I'm saying.
Well, no, I understand that, but I just don't think him being the 91st overall pick really says to me like, hey, they got to get this guy on the field. I don't feel that way.
I don't necessarily, that's not either what I'm saying, but I'm saying he will get work. And I'm saying he will be the direct replacement if Lenny goes down. And if you don't want this back, if Lenny goes down, you're absolutely insane because it's an offense that you're going to want an RB that will get the work. He can catch the ball. He did it so in his last year at Arizona State, 43 receptions. He can run the ball. He did it last year, 5.5 average yards per carry. He is a beast. And Brian, you comparing him to Rojo. If you saw him on Twitter, he would not like that. He already said it.
I wasn't comparing him. I'm just saying that's the voided role that is immediately available.
Yeah, you're right. Overall, this guy screams NFL. He has the ideal size. He's a patient runner. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's great at the goal line. One thing, the big concern that I do have about him that is something that I read. He needs to work on his protections to stay on the field. And that is big in Tom Brady. Tom Brady's 44.
Big for Tom Brady.
So he's going to have to work on that in the training camp and off season and make sure that that is his main priority before any of these other things. If he can do that, he will have a role in this offense, especially if Gronk's not there, especially when Godwin's not there. Let me go one more thing. And you guys tell me, actually, we'll do a quick, would you rather? Okay. Both of you want to do that? And okay. Just what? Yeah, pick a side, and then you tell me.
Would you rather?
Okay, James Cook or Rashad White?
Neither.
No, that's not.
I'm not drafting either of them. Like they're
James
both.
Cook is on the Bills, right?
It's a would you rather, yeah.
Yeah, but like I guess a would you rather pick them up first off the waiver wire 6 weeks from now? I'm literally not drafting either of them.
Can you give one or the other?
Probably Cook. But I hate his size.
I hate his size too.
I'd go Rashad White, I guess.
It's a smarter decision. Cody's kind of a bozo. He doesn't want the back.
I think there's a clear path to work in Buffalo.
Is that the only would you rather you have?
No, JD McKissick or Rashad White?
JD McKissick.
Rashad White, 3 running backs there. None of them are going to be any good.
Wait,
Naheem Hines.
Oh, they just drafted that guy.
Yeah, Brian Robinson. Naheem Hines or Rashad White?
Naheem Hines.
Probably
Naheem Hines was solid last year, wasn't he? Like a solid 10 points per game. Am I crazy? Am I thinking of like
yes?
Rashad White's about to average 4 games, so does it really matter?
I mean, very true.
Cody, you're thinking 2 years ago, Brian. Isaiah Spiller or Rashad White?
Okay,
Spiller.
Isaiah Spiller went to the.
What? Why Spiller though?
But why team he went to?
Tell me why Spiller is more valuable. Like it was such a definitive answer.
Mario, you've listed me off 6 players that aren't going to get drafted. Like I don't know what game we're playing here.
No, I'm going Isaiah Spiller for sure. I'm going Isaiah Spiller easy.
Drafted.
Isaiah Spiller.
They're all going. It's stupid again. They're all going right around 150
mark. Here's my reasoning for Isaiah Spiller. Hold on.
I have 12 drafting. That's like the 13th round. I mean, this is crazy that we're doing
yeah, it is.
Listen,
Isaiah Spiller. the reason for Isaiah Spiller is because the Chargers have already said they want to lighten the load on Austin Eckler. And we've clearly seen that Josh Kelly and Justin Jackson are not the guys. Isaiah Spiller is going to have a chance.
Last year, but I don't think
What?
he's there anymore, is he?
Who?
Is Josh Jackson there?
Justin Jackson?
Justin Jackson?
I think so. I think he
did fine last year.
Ooh. Let me think on that one just a little bit.
Trade-off.
I actually like Lenny better for this year, but I got to think a little bit. Do I think Lenny stays with the Bucks, and Tom Brady's a big factor because it's a dynasty league for all of you that saw that trade offer there.
All right, can I finish my would you rather?
Yes, continue.
Raheem Mostert or Rashad White?
Rashad White.
That one's way tougher, I feel like, Cody, and you answered it so quick because Mostert has a chance to like.
Mostert has like 7 carries in the last 3 years.
That is true. But you've seen how good he can be. Like,
on those
if you're talking pure lottery tickets, if you're talking pure lottery tickets, I think Mostert has a higher chance.
Best ball Mostert. You're right. I mean, I think, is it Mostert or Mostert? I always said it
Mostert. I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah. No, best ball Mostert by a mile. But
you guys are so wrong on
dude. Mostert was like the most efficient running back of all time. I'm making that up, but it feels like it.
Sure.
But you're right. He can't stay on the field. Yes, I get that.
And
there's 7 running backs in Miami.
Injury on his last.
I'm not sure if I said this, but I don't want any of these guys.
They're all being drafted. Dameon Pierce or Rashad White?
Pierce. I mean, I think there's a way clearer path to work.
I would go.
He's about the only one that. He's about the only one that I might be like, yeah, I'd probably go that one too. Kenneth Gainwell or Rashad White?
You have so many names. We're like 15 names in, Mario.
Yep, we have 2 more after us too.
What about Cade York? I'd take Cade York.
Can you just answer a question?
Who do you even say?
Kenneth Gainwell or Rashad White?
Kenneth Gainwell is only a second-year player.
Rashad White.
Brian?
I'm thinking.
It's not my fault you guys are taking so long to get through these. It could have been quick.
I mean, Mario, you're the one who believes in Jalen Hurts so much, so doesn't that mean that Gainwell should have more value? I mean, Miles Sanders didn't have a touchdown last year.
See, look at this is why this is taking
I'll go
so
Rashad
long.
White.
Who do you go?
Rashad White.
Rashad White, Jamal Williams.
Rashad White.
You know what? I was the Jamal Williams hater before, but I'll go Jamal Williams.
You're so inconsistent. Rashad White or Chris Carson?
Rashad White. Chris Carson's career is over, in my opinion.
These are all RBs going ahead of Rashad White.
Wow,
so
no way. Egregious.
Yeah. I can't wait. I will. There's like, your dog ever like you ever have a dog piss on the floor or like cat and you had to like show them the piss on the
I piss
the
on
carpet?
the floor sometimes.
I'm gonna do that to you when Rashad White does something this year if Lenny goes down.
Oh my God, it's gonna be like one game or one play. He gets like a carry for 6 yards.
I will just.
And there's definitely like there's a world where that happens. It's not.
You're writing him off.
Chance. It's not 0.
You're writing him off.
I'm all in on Lenny, and so.
But if you're all in on Lenny, then you're a bozo for not backing him up.
Disagree because owning Lenny last year, I can tell you what a bummer it was and how hard it was to try to keep Rojo on my roster as a handcuff. It was impossible.
Rojo does not equal Rashad White though. We don't think Rojo is that good.
But to say I'm a bozo for not handcuffing Lenny, like handcuffing Lenny last year was
I don't know. I think
really
Rojo's
hard
pretty
to do.
good.
Oh gosh.
You better handcuff that man.
Hey, 2 years ago when Rojo got a decent amount of work, he was pretty good. He just can't hold on to the football.
Whose last one is this? Who do we have next?
It's mine.
It's another Ohio State alum.
This one is kind of doesn't fit the show, but I wanted to talk about him a little bit, and I know Rob's gonna like this one here. This is his baby. So it's Jameson Williams, and he was drafted 12th overall. A lot of people think he probably would have been the top receiver off the board if it wasn't for his ACL tear. Sometimes there's coach speak, and this here is Jameson Williams speak. But he says if he hadn't been for the ACL injury, he thinks he would have broke the all-time 40 record. He's an absolutely electric player. I don't love the landing spot, and he could start the year on the PUP list because of that ACL tear. But I think he is somebody that he's being drafted now, as you see at 136 overall. If he's going to be on the PUP, I don't want to draft him. But I think this is somebody that you should be watching as you go through the first couple weeks of the year to pick up off waiver wires, because I think he's somebody that could have a nice second half of the year once he comes off the pup, assuming he goes on the pup. I think he's the best receiver in this draft, and an ACL tear's rough. But by the way, I think D'Ernest is the answer.
Oh, D'Ernest is easily the answer.
Yeah.
I like Jameson.
They just gave him a fat contract.
I think he's more of a dynasty play than this year. That personally, that's more of my Jared Goff hate that I went to battle with Alex, Rob, whoever else wants to battle about it. I just don't see where it becomes possible. I don't know.
Yeah, and that may be true. I mean, he's not a guy I'm drafting because he is injured. I think he's just, somebody that's worth plugging off the waiver wire if you have somebody droppable. I mean, look at that stat line. 1,572 yards and 15 touchdowns in the SEC. That's bonkers.
I think earlier
I
confused him with Garrett Wilson for a second because I think I said Jameson was on the Jets and I was thinking of Garrett Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
Just
I think you actually said Garrett.
You don't have to look at me crazy, Mark.
No, but I think you said Garrett though, and now you just made yourself.
Oh, then never mind. Now I'm just confusing myself.
I'm pretty. We'll listen back, but I'm pretty sure you said it fine.
I just want to throw one thing out there. We always shoot to be about an hour. We've been trying to get ourselves on track with time and try to be about an hour. I want everyone to know we went 106 tonight because Mario wanted to spend 23 minutes on Rachaad White.
You guys are going to be – wait, actually, we're going to go a little longer than 106 because I wanted to show you one more thing.
Okay, what do we got?
Well, it's just
It's Rachaad highlights.
No, I had to come back to the garden, dude.
Oh, good. No, I'm excited for this.
Look at that. Look at that bed we create. Now, I see it needs grass. I know it does.
Are you going to do stone around the edge of this or no?
I might do some stone out around the edge just to make it easier to grow the grass.
Dude, well, and
it
tops the look off.
That plastic lining, it came out really nice. Actually, that was the first time I used it. First time ever.
I hate it. I hate it at my place. Mostly it was just because I live in an area that is like all clay and rocks, and it's like impossible to dig it.
What do you use? Because I used the ones with like oh my gosh, I can't think of the word right now. It wasn't the straight one. It like you had a hammer in the
posts or whatever.
Yeah.
No, I didn't use those.
You had a hammer in the stakes.
Mine was the one with like the cup at the bottom, like that.
Like the lip, kind of like.
Yeah, it has like a lip.
I kind of hate those ones. This one was kind of cool because it makes this like L shape, right? And there's a hole right here where you drill the stake in, and it's like a little
Mario,
wall.
It's too close to the camera. Put your hand back. Nobody can see that. Pull your hand back further from the camera.
You got an L shape.
Loser.
This is. I'm getting sick of this show.
It's dad jokes.
I'm getting sick of it. Look at that! Look at that bed.
It looks. I think it looks good. I do think you need to do the stone. I think not just because of the growing grass thing. I just think it's such a sharp look with the contrast.
I think it would also block that wall a little bit, and it would make it look even more.
I think you need to grow some grass in that area.
Grass wouldn't be bad. That's a good recommendation, Mario.
The grass is next year. It really is.
Same.
It's too late now.
Fall. Hey, listen. Fall plant.
Fall plant.
Yeah, that's our current issue. Is we move in August 9th, and it's like, do we go for the fall plants or do we wait for the spring? The only thing is we haven't started calling around, and everywhere might be booked up. I wouldn't be surprised.
You're gonna have someone plant your grass? What kind of dad are you?
That gardening squad. Hey, recommendation
girl
for
dad.
gardening.
Hey,
if you're gonna get some flowers, get some zinnias. Those things pop. Also, you can't go wrong with dahlias or marigolds. Marigolds are always
marigolds.
Wait. Before we close the show, we got maybe 2 minutes, maybe a minute. There's a story Lauren tells all the time about Brian, where like there was like crazy lightning or storm and like mad. And it was a year where Brian would like send us picture of his marigolds every day. Like, check out my marigold. Check out my marigold.
So
Oh no. It was
begonias, dude.
My begonias. And it was storming. It was storming like crazy. It was like, I don't know. It was a ridiculous storm. Lauren said he woke up dead out of his sleep and went, my begonias, and ran to go get them.
Had to save them. And you want to hear something messed up, Cody?
What's that?
This guy Mario, he moved out into a house for a housewarming gift that I wasn't invited to. I came over.
Have a housewarming.
I brought him some begonias. I brought him a hook. I brought him a bird
Like a
feeder.
shepherd's hook?
Yeah, like a shepherd's hook.
Okay, yeah.
I brought him all this to set up. And what did he do with it? He threw it in the trash.
The shepherd's
Did
hook
you
is in my
actually?
backyard.
Yeah, the hook.
it's in my
Where are the
backyard.
flowers? Where's the bird feeder?
Well, the flowers those are annual, right?
Yeah, they are. But you never hung
So
them
they
up.
died.
I did
Yes,
hang them up.
Of
What are you
course they
talking
died.
about?
Well, you can actually. A lot of people don't know this. You can actually bring begonias in through the
Can you
winter
stop
months, and
grabbing
if
your
you
mic?
care
It
for them
sucks.
enough. Oh, sorry.
Mario, you should have like dried them and put them in a scrapbook. My goodness, what kind of monster are you?
You can keep them alive through the winter if you care.
If you care,
You let our friendship die.
Jess has her flowers from her
I'll-
bouquet, like
as
in
an
a
in-
framed thing. Should I have done
Yes.
that with those?
Yes. Listen, as an independent third party, I want to jump in here. So shepherd's hook is in the backyard. We're good. Annual flowers died. We're good. I think there's some explaining to be done for the bird feeder.
It is not up currently, so that is.
Do you still have it in your possession?
Hell yeah. It's
Okay.
in my garage.
All right.
It's in his
Here's
garage.
the- here's-
Yeah, all the birds
There
coming
is a
in there.
slight issue with the bird feeder. Okay.
Oh,
That
so
I
Brian
don't-
got you a defective bird feeder. That changes
No,
everything.
he did not. No. My dog eats all the things that fall, dude. The squirrels will end up. They knock it off and then goes Nina like eating all of that.
They're sunflower
She
seeds. They're not bad.
Pukes all the time, dude.
Don't let her
All
over
right,
there.
we
Be a
should
better
close it out.
dog
You guys want to
parent.
close it out? Cody, do you want to try
No.
closing this out? You want to see how you closing it out?
No, because I'm really bad with the names for all the social media. So
Oh my gosh. Brian, do you want to give it a whirl?
No.
Oh my gosh. All
Who's
right,
the
boys
star?
or girls. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys tune in to us on Twitter. We're tweeting out all the time. Cody doesn't even know what Twitter means because he's still too old. Yeah, that sucks. Shout out
Still
to
too old. That makes sense.
I meant too. Yeah, well, he's always been old. Make sure you guys like and subscribe at YouTube, Dad Bod Fantasy Squad, Twitch. Make sure you subscribe there as well. Check us out on Twitter at DadBodFS, and we will be posting this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all major streaming platforms for podcasts, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts. It's all on there. Make sure you check it out. For myself, for Brian, the girl dad, and for Cody, the boy dad. Peace.
Get yourself an edger.
Peace.